Welcome, everybody, to the Rope Break Podcast. It's been a while. My name is Jeff Wolf, and I am alongside Eric Vanek.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Now, as you could, or not a whole lot of you probably have noticed, we have not done...
Notice?
Did anyone notice? That's a very good question. Hopefully they will, and that's why we're going into this right now. We haven't been doing the show for a couple weeks, partially because of us being busy, partially because of the NCAA tournament, and not just a whole lot of time.
You.
Yeah, I know. That's on me. That's on me. That's not on Eric.
Surprised your team hasn't gone yet.
I know. How is Kentucky still in this? This is crazy. Final Four bound, baby. But I think the most important reason why we haven't been doing the show is it's just not been that fun. We're talking about the majority of stuff that we bring up is just it's just a review on Raw, SmackDown, Impact, and that's all stuff people know about. I mean, our opinion is so small, and there's so many different wrestling podcasts out there that do the same thing. We're not going to do that crap anymore. Like, when we first started doing this, we thought that's what we had to do. And then it's come to both of our attentions lately that we've been doing some things wrong, and if we enjoy talking about just certain little issues and not necessarily the review aspect, then we're just going to do what we want to do now. I know Eric wants to talk about reviews on DVDs. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about more about main issues. We're going to talk about the history of professional wrestling. We're more of like I guess you could say a shoot in a way. Not like the PR version of professional wrestling. I think we're going to be a little bit more gritty about stuff, and we're going to have our opinion a little bit better, and we're going to have a lot more fun, and hopefully that's going to transition into more viewers and more attention.
Yeah, that sounds good with me. I mean, I want to do those kinds of things, like, top 10 lists, kind of like WWE Countdown does. I mean, we could even, go off of the WWE Countdown, what they're going off of that week, and make our own top 10s and talk about it kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Jeff both enjoy listening and watching the WWE Legends roundtables. I absolutely love those. I guess they're doing some live this week on the network for WrestleMania at XS. Like, they have some actual legends coming in, and they're going to discuss a topic for like an hour live on the network. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, so that'd be awesome. And we want to, we love WCW. You're just getting into ECW, so to speak, I guess, with the network and stuff like that. And I absolutely love ECW. There's certain things I'd love to talk about that may not even have to deal with a damn thing with the WWE about professional wrestling. So that's just basically our shoot, I guess you could say, of where the Rope Break is headed in the future. It's not to say that we're not going to talk about stuff that happened on that week of wrestling. Maybe we'll just talk just about maybe like Eric's a couple things that he liked from the shows or that he didn't like. But we're not going to waste 45 minutes to 50 minutes to even an hour sometimes just talking about stuff you've already seen in the week. We're not going to do it anymore. We don't necessarily love doing it. It's repetitive. It's boring. And we're not going to do it. So that's it. That's where we're going in the future with the show. The show's going to be a lot more fun, I think, that way too. And we're going to be doing a lot more stuff with promoting the show, so it can get to that level that me and you both want it to get to.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so now that's out of the way, what this main show is going to be about is it's WrestleMania time, and it's coming up this Sunday. So this is going to be our prediction show for the show. Before we even get into the prediction, Eric, what would you say this show is on par with past WrestleManias, or does it feel kind of like rushed to you a little bit?
Well, honestly, I hate to say this, but I think with CM Punk taking his sabbatical, it really threw a wrench in their plans, and so it kind of does feel rushed a little bit. Everything has... there was, talks of, okay, well, who's Undertaker going to face? And how's that going to work? And then it changed like 2 or 3 times. And, well, now it finally came to fruition after Royal Rumble and all that when Punk left. So it's kind of like everything has been thrown together in 2 or 3 months. I mean, but it's still, in WWE time, that's still plenty of time to promote everything and work out everything. But in WWE fashion, they still find ways to screw it up.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think they definitely had time. I just feel like they had a mind frame, even past post-Punk crap. They had a mind frame of where they wanted to go with stuff, and I feel in the last couple of weeks they've just like kind of thrown a curveball, and they got worried or something, and they kind of backtracked on their plans, kind of like with like the whole Outlaws with Kane and the Shield thing, and even the Triple H and Daniel Bryan thing, which obviously that's for the fans and that's going to be awesome. But yeah, I just felt like it was kind of, and even the tag title match that we'll talk about here in a minute. I just feel like things were thrown around again like 2 weeks ago, and it just seems odd the way that this show looks, because you look at the card and you don't necessarily say WrestleMania. I mean, if this was a SummerSlam card, this card would be awesome. It would be right on par for SummerSlam. I just think Mania-wise, it doesn't really add up to the hype that I believe WrestleMania should be, and maybe that has to do with the network. Maybe they were really focused on the network, and this is kind of like a down year. But anyways, let's just get into the actual predictions of the show.
Sure.
We're going to start with the pre-show match, which, like tradition, it kind of boggles my mind, but like we've talked off my podcast, I guess you could say. There's no other matches here you could really put on the pre-show, and that's going to be the Four Corners tag title match, putting the Usos versus the Real Americans versus Los Matadors and Ryback.
Yeah. When the reason, I think we both agree on this, why this match is being moved to the pre-show is there isn't another match, really, if you look at it. But it's also a time thing, because this Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Royal Rumble, whatever you want to call it, Battle Royals, Royal Rumbles usually last 50 minutes to an hour. So that's a whole 50 minutes to an hour dedicated just to that one match. So they're going to have 3 hours for the rest of the card. Obviously, Undertaker and Brock's going to get a while. Daniel Bryan and Triple H is going to get a while. The main event's going to get a while. So, and John Cena, Bray Wyatt's also going to get a while to, have their matches. So, that's kind of why this match has been moved to the card, to the pre-show. I'm sorry. And then, for my predictions, we've talked about this. It's really just a thing of getting everybody on the card. It's just a way to get everybody on the card so everybody is happy. They get their WrestleMania payday, as they call it. So that's pretty much what a lot of this card reminds me of, is just, okay, here you guys go. Here you go, all the divas, all these superstars that we never use on TV, like Justin Gabriel, and sorry about that, and all the others. It's just, here you go. So you can get your little WrestleMania payday, and that's it. But you actually have two very, very good tag teams in this match, with the Usos and the Real Americans. You got Los Matadors, who are very good wrestlers, just they've never had a good gimmick or anything in WWE, even when they were Primo and Epico.
Yeah.
And they've really never had a good gimmick, never had good anything. But they're tremendous wrestlers. There's no doubt about it. So seeing them in this match is good. They've actually won some matches lately, so that's good. Ryback, so I kind of thought Curtis Axel and Ryback would have been good fits for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but I guess they just had to throw some random tag team in here. So I really don't see them winning. I would be really upset if the Usos lost this match and lost the titles. I really see it coming down to being the show between the Usos and the Real Americans, battling it out here. But I think the Usos will end up retaining the titles. And one other thing I want to quickly point out before I give it over to Jeff, I am very pissed off and disappointed that Antonio Cesaro is not on the actual pay-per-view.
Yeah, Cesaro,
that guy's worked his ass off,
Not only has he worked his ass off, he's one of the shining stars in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So
he would steal the show.
Yeah, he should be highlighted more than this. That gets that's a part of my frustration with the whole Battle Royal thing in the first place. But as far as this pre-show match, I think you could have stopped after Usos Real Americans. I honestly don't even see why the Matadors and Ryback got put into this match. Matadors, I mean, are they are what they are. They're a good, athletic, Mexican kind of team. I mean, that's what they are. And
they're, like I said, they're tremendous wrestlers. Just don't have a gimmick.
Yeah, and it doesn't get over, and it won't get over. They've done stuff like this since the '80s, and it may have worked a little bit in the '80s because wrestling fans were naive in that point. But it's never going to get over. So they shouldn't even be put in this conversation. Ryback, so I've been actually pretty impressed with them lately. I don't really care for them, honestly, but they have actually shown that together they can work better than they were working solo. So that's a plus for them, but I don't see them winning either. I really do think it's Usos versus Real Americans. I really wanted the Usos to get their WrestleMania moment. Winning this is not going to give them the WrestleMania moment, no matter what anyone's going to tell me, especially now being on the pre-show. They can win it or they can lose it. It doesn't really matter to me, but if they are going to lose it, then it has to go to the Real Americans. And if it's going to go to the Real Americans, then the Real Americans better stay together for another couple months. And they were teasing their breakup for a long time heading into WrestleMania. And that's another thing that I was just talking about. Like, it seems the Real Americans was a thing where they had a mindset for them, and then a couple weeks ago they were like, hey, let's not do that. Let's switch it up. So it's kind of frustrating with a couple things like that happened this year for WrestleMania. But my prediction is it's going to be the Real Americans. That's what I'm going to predict. I'm going to predict that the Real Americans are going to win the tag titles on the pre-show. And then going into the first battle, well, I guess not a battle royal, but it's a form of a battle royal, I guess you could say, is the Vicky Guerrero Divas Invitational, which doesn't have the same ring as the Terry Invitational.
This is just a cluster, you know what, waiting to happen. Like, from what I heard on Raw from Vicky Guerrero's mouth was I think there's 13 total divas. All 13 will be in the ring at the same time, and it's the first pinfall that wins it. It's going to be mass chaos, and it's just going to be so poorly done. Like, I feel bad for whoever is going to win the title because I really don't expect AJ to leave this WrestleMania with the title. I just feel bad for whatever diva is going to win it. She's going to have her moment at WrestleMania, and it's like just going to be overshadowed just because of a poorly done match, because of all the chaos I think it's going to create. But honestly, I've been thinking about it of who I think is going to win. I definitely don't think AJ is going to retain. But I really think I'm going to put my money on Naomi. I think Naomi's going to win.
You think it's going to be Naomi, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well,
I think they want to push her. She's the most athletic diva. The fans do get behind her. She has some charisma, as you see on Total Divas and all that. She's, really cool, down-to-earth girl. I really think WWE wants her to be kind of the face right now.
All right, I just looked, and you were very close. It's actually 14 Total Divas. 13 not including the champion AJ. My prediction is going to maybe shock you, but I think it's going to be Summer Rae who's going to win this. I think that they see her as the bubbly, blonde, gorgeous girl to just go into the future, which I know you know all of this already since you're in love with Summer Rae. But and I'm not really a Summer Rae fan, but I think, and especially going on Raw and them showing the stuff between her and Natalya, I really do think that they want Summer Rae to be that person. I don't think. Oh gosh, it's just this was so poorly done. This Divas Championship has been so poorly done, and it's like AJ Lee has done the best she can possibly do with being the Divas Champion, honestly. And there's not a whole lot of women that can really do overall what AJ does. And I think Summer Rae could potentially get there. I don't think she's ready at all for it right now. But I am going to predict her to win it. And I think you're right. It's going to get overshadowed completely, not only by the situation, but just by everything else that's a part of this show. it's not going to really be remembered that much, especially in a match like this.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we're going to talk a little bit now about another match that I thought was kind of sidetracked a little bit, and that is the Kane and the Outlaws versus the Shield match. We were thinking at one time there was going to be a Shield split. Then we were thinking at one time there was going to be a triple threat match with all of the Shield. Then maybe it would be the Shield and the Wyatts again. And now we are sitting at the Shield are faces, basically, and they're facing off against Kane and the Outlaws, which is it's cool in a sense because it's like New Age versus the Attitude Era. So, and I really think if the Shield was in the Attitude Era, they would have succeeded as well, maybe even better than they are today. And I'm not saying this match is going to be bad. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Because Kane and the Outlaws can still go, and obviously the Shield together can still go. I absolutely love the fact that Seth Rollins is being used the way he is now. He's like even on Raw, he was the first one to attack Kane. Now maybe I'm looking too much into that, but it just seems like he is now the leader, which is kind of a little surprising with what they wanted to do with Roman Reigns. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But onto this actual match, I definitely see the Shield going over. I don't see the Shield breaking up at WrestleMania, especially them now being faces. I feel they're going to now stick together for the next couple months at least. It'll be a good match, and I could definitely see this being the last of the Outlaws.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm trying to think if I think they're going to break up or not. It's a possibility. Either they're going to lose the match because somebody turns and they break up, or something like that, or they're going to win and that'll be the last we see of the Outlaws and kind of all that, and they one up Kane. Usually at WrestleMania, the faces usually go over, kind of cap the storyline for the year, and new storylines start for a year. I'm going to agree with you. I think the Shield is going to win this one. They've been pushing them for all year. Roman Reigns has been getting a huge push. I think Roman Reigns is going to, be the. He did it at Survivor Series. He's just been one of the top guys in the WWE for a while now. I think he's going to have his, shining moment. So I think Roman Reigns is going to dominate this match. I think the Shield's going to win.
Yeah, and I can definitely see Roman Reigns going over Kane as the final finish to this match. But yeah, I definitely expect it to be a very solid match, just with all the members definitely putting everything into it, especially for WrestleMania, and then the Outlaws knowing that it's WrestleMania. I think the Outlaws are really going to try to just and knowing that this could be their last match. I think they're really going to put everything into it. And then we're going to get into the. This is as featured of a match as they've been able to do with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which when it first got announced, I was ecstatic for it because it's Andre the Giant. It's remembering someone from the past as historical as Andre the Giant was. He was huge for professional wrestling, huge for WrestleMania. You can't talk about WrestleMania's history without talking about Andre the Giant. And I love trophies. And you will get a trophy if you win this. You will get a nice, big, shiny trophy. And I like that. I dig it. This is... the negative about this Battle Royal is it's just a mess. Because, like you said, it's essentially a Royal Rumble. Now, everyone might be in the ring at the same time. If so, that's even more of a cluster than anything else.
They haven't really said if they'll all be in the ring at the same time, or if it's Royal Rumble. Yeah. Every minute 30 somebody comes out. They haven't really said.
No,
I don't know.
They really haven't. I don't know if there's going to be everyone surrounded around the ring, and maybe every 20 to 30 seconds a new person just climbs in or something. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Prediction wise for the match though, Which also, there's still 3 people left to be announced for this match. We don't know who they are going to be. We don't know if they're going to be just 3 active random wrestlers on the roster, or if they have a surprise. I can definitely see after Raw, and you mentioned it, I just hadn't watched Raw yet, that we could see Piper get thrown in here, just because he was doing his Piper's Pit, and then people were coming in.
Yeah.
I really, and I think we're both on the same page here with this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really see Dolph Ziggler winning this. I see it coming down to, honestly, the Battle of Cleveland. I see it being Dolph or Miz, of who's going to take this, with a third wild card maybe being the Big Show. And honestly, only that's because it's under the Giant Battle Royal. This would be a cool thing for the Big Show to just add on to another notch on his belt before he finally does retire.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of where what I was thinking was Big Show is going to win this because, he's the most, comparable to Andre and all that. I mean, they've kind of, not really pushed him, but, shown that he can, still dominate, throw everybody out of the ring. They've pushed a couple people in this battle royal, give some people some airtime. They give The Miz, Dolph, Sheamus, Big Show. I'm thinking.
I know who you're thinking. You're thinking Justin Gabriel, aren't you?
I wish Alex Riley was in it because that'd be a no-brainer.
Which, by the way, I am stoked that Justin Gabriel is going to have a WrestleMania match of some capacity.
I would love, I'm going to pick the Big Show to win it. Just because I think that's where they're going to go, give him his one last, big thing that he can win and do. I really want to see Dolph win it. I think it's going to come down to Big Show and Dolph, to be honest.
Yeah, very well could.
Big Show, Dolph, and Sheamus, I see those being the final 3.
Yeah.
And the 4th guy in that, if I had to pick a final 4, I think Cody Rhodes would be the 4th guy.
Really? See, I was thinking if there was going to be a 4th guy, then they would put Ray in there.
Yeah, I like Cody Rhodes.
I love Cody Rhodes.
We both do. Him and Goldust have to break up here at some point, and I think Cody needs to be launched off of that. I mean, it's gotta be. Right now, my early favorite to win Money in the Bank this year is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and we've said that for 3 years, but now this year definitely is how it feels.
Yeah. But with only one title now, does the WWE trust Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton's and all that?
No.
There's no doubt in my mind that he can wrestle with these guys. Doubt.
Oh yeah, he can have a great match with any of those people.
And I think he can carry himself and do all that fine.
Oh yeah.
There's no problem. It's just, does the WWE believe it?
Yeah.
And I would say no.
I would say no, but it also helps that his last name is Rhodes.
Yes. So I think Cody's going to have a big showing in this match. Obviously, Kofi's going to do something like he normally does, something crazy. He's going to jump into the 17th row and then jump back and somehow. I don't know. But yeah, I really think Big Show's going to win, and I think it's going to come down to Big Show and Dolph. They've really pushed Dolph, thank God.
Yeah. Anyone that has listened to us,
thank you.
We bitch about him more than anyone else.
Yeah, because he is so talented. He's got the entire package: wrestling, looks, mic skills, you name it, he's got it.
Yeah.
The dude is the total package. The only thing he doesn't have is he's not 6'4", 270.
Yeah. Like
John Cena or The Rock or whoever. So.
And I got to say one thing, because you mentioned Goldust. I feel Diamond Dallas Page deserves, the Man of the Decade award for the WWE. He got Jake Roberts back into ring shape and got his life in order. He got Scott Hall. The man was a walking time bomb. We would talk about the fact that any day we could wake up and he would be dead. He got Scott Hall's life back in order and back into ring shape, and he too is now going to the Hall of Fame with Jake Roberts. And Goldust does DDP yoga all the time, and Goldust has not looked any better than he does now. He looks better than he did in '98.
He really does. I mean, he has been incredible.
So I just had to say that. All right, so the Battle Royal, yeah, it's gonna be good, gonna be interesting. It's really gonna be interesting. I really want to see how everything transpires with it, and I do hope going forward that this is repetitive. Like, I hope that they do this in the future. Maybe not at this stage of like a 30-man Battle Royal, because I think it's just, I mean, let's be honest, it's just a way to get everyone a payday. But I do like the idea and the concept of it, and I love the trophy idea, because I do love trophies. But now we're going to talk about the one match that I am looking forward to over any match, it has nothing to do with Daniel Bryan even, and that's John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. I think this is the one match that has been actually hyped up the longest. I mean, you could argue, I guess, Triple H and Daniel Bryan, but that just came back a couple weeks ago, honestly, because that was kind of like a dead horse for a while. But John Cena versus Bray Wyatt has been hyped up since before Elimination Chamber even. Actually, it was before that, wasn't it? Like a month even before that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I am really looking forward to this. I think that John Cena and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family in general have done an amazing job. Promos against each other, psychology against each other, their matches with each other. It's been done extremely well. And this is the one match where it could really go both ways. Obviously, being the Bray Wyatt mark that I am, I want Bray to win, and I'm going to predict that he is going to win. But I really feel this is going to be an awesome, solid 20-minute match. I'd say 20 to 25 minutes, but when you look at this card, you could argue most of these matches are going to be half-an-hour matches, at least, when you have Battle Royals and Invitationals and Triple Threats and Triple H and Daniel Bryan and a Taker streak match. So it's like, who knows how long this match will actually go. But I do think it's going to be a solid match. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I think John Cena is going to step up his game, kind of like he did with Cesaro a couple months ago. And I do think Bray Wyatt is also going to step up his game, and he's going to get a nice WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. Before I start, I want to say Bray's promos since Royal Rumble, pretty much, I mean, have been some of the best I've seen in a long time in wrestling. I know you agree with me on that one too. So.
It's like Raven writes it for him and emails it to Bray Wyatt.
I mean, from what I've read, Bray writes it all up and gets it approved. And, they add little tweaks and changes if they need to.
Yeah.
But he does such a frickin' phenomenal job with his promos. He is just...
Bray Wyatt can sing me to sleep any night he wants to.
He's really done well. I mean, he's really just blowing Cena out of the water promo-wise. Like, he is leaps and bounds better than Cena right now.
Yeah, I mean,
But Cena cut a really good one on Raw that I really liked. He showed some fire, some passion. I really liked Cena's promo from Raw backstage.
Yeah.
I know I was telling you to watch it. I don't know what you thought of it.
I thought it was a solid one. Definitely for
like...
It wasn't great, but to me, there was a lot of fire. And when John Cena has fire, that's a great thing for his promos.
Yeah, it got me fired up, and I'm not even that big of a Cena fan. I mean, I like Cena for the most part, but I mean, it got me fired up, and I'm not even a big Cena fan. So
yeah, I mean, it was definitely good for this match coming up.
Yeah, and I agree with you. He's beat Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble. He's the one that beat the Shield at Elimination Chamber. He's been on a roll. The guy has just been phenomenal this year. Like, he is...
But this is also John Cena at WrestleMania.
It is John Cena at WrestleMania. I agree. Daniel Bryan was the hottest guy at Royal Rumble. He was so freaking hot, and they still had Bray beat him. Yeah. I don't see Bray losing this one. They're pushing him way too much. They want him to be it's like coming down to a Roman Reigns big baby face versus Bray Wyatt huge heel world title just clash like at next year's WrestleMania is like what it's leading to.
Yeah.
So I think Bray's gonna win. I think Cena realizes, hey, you know, I want to put this guy over. Cena's not selfish. He might be in some aspects, but he's not selfish on this. He knows he loves this business. You know, we all know he does. He cares for it. He's there every night. He's gonna want to help out Bray any way he can. And I think letting him win this match at the Royal or at WrestleMania is going to be big. And like I said, he had probably the best match of the year at Royal Rumble with Daniel Bryan. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the best match of the night.
I hope it is. I mean, because honestly, this is the match that I'm looking forward to the most, just because I don't think a lot of people have trust in the chemistry Bray and John will have together, but I think they're going to be able to have a great WrestleMania match, and I definitely can see this being in the top 3 best WrestleMania matches for this night, at least. I mean, it definitely could be the show stealer. Then we go into the match that probably should be the show stealer, because that has to do with the streak, and that is The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. I know we've discussed, does this match close the night? And for what I want to happen, I say it should, but I don't think that they're going to not put on the triple threat world title match to close the show. Prediction-wise, though, for Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, I think this is just going to be brutal. Like, I can see this being even worse than that Triple H Undertaker match the first time, where the first 15 minutes was just brutal. I think that it's not going to be looked at as negatively as that match. I think it's going to be a pretty solid match. I wish this match happened 3 years ago, honestly, but I think that it's definitely going to be brutal, and I mean, obviously, Brock's not going to win this. The Undertaker, I believe, would only ever drop this streak if it helped out a younger talent get over in an epic kind of way, and obviously that's not Brock Lesnar. And it honestly wouldn't even be John Cena. Well,
speaking of that, I mean, you watched Raw, and Undertaker's promo was really weird. Like,
they've been weird.
Yeah, like, he hasn't been, like, spot on or anything.
It hasn't been like WrestleMania Undertaker at all.
Yeah, like, what he said, though, was like, you know, the streak is going to come to an end at some point, or everybody knows that. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh, sorry. What is he talking about, you know?
That's one.
You know, I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Like, why would he even say that? That's not the Undertaker I know.
Yeah.
So it was, like, really weird. I mean, I think Undertaker is going to win this match. I'll state off first off. I think it's going to be a really good match, too. I mean, Brock has really done some really good matches. He had some, you know, decent match with Cena. His match at SummerSlam with Punk was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
You know, his match with Big Show was terrible, but I think that's just because it's Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, Big Show's at the end of his career, so I don't really blame Brock. I mean, but a part of that match is that build-up was amazing.
Yeah.
But match-wise, yeah, you're right.
And I really think it's just going to be a very solid match. It's not going to be Shawn Michaels Undertaker quality, but I can see it rivaling what him and Triple H have done.
Yeah, and I think the longer it goes, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I
think he's going to hit an F5 on Undertaker, and Undertaker's going to kick out. He's going to hit another one, kick out. I see Brock Lesnar still coming out of this looking very strong and a beast like he should be, but Undertaker will still, you know, pull out every stop in the book and somehow win this one.
Yeah,
I kind of see it like how Bret Hart and Stone Cold had their match, where Undertaker is just going to lock on the triangle choke, and Brock's just going to pass out. He's not. I don't think he's going to.
I could see that. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to beat Brock with a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I think he's going to choke him, and that'll be the end of it, and he'll pass out.
Yeah. God, I wouldn't. I couldn't even compare it to the Austin Bret Hart match, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm just using the analogy of Stone Cold passing out.
Yeah, I got you. I could definitely see an F5 getting hit within the first 5 minutes. I think it's going to be a very fairly contested battle, and I think you're right. I think Brock Lesnar is going to be still looked at as dominant after this match. I think it's going to go 22, 25 minutes, and Taker's going to win. Now, as far as what we think is going to happen afterwards, if we think that this is going to be the start of when Sting comes out, I don't even know. It's the WWE has been so weird with stuff like that I can't even right now.
Well, I agree with you. I think he's either going to show up at this match or he's going to show up on Raw the next night. I think the best bet is going to be Raw the next night.
Yeah.
But I've told you my perfect scenario.
Yeah.
I know they don't do the rafters things, but just somewhere up there, just Sting pointing a bat down at Undertaker.
And I can see that.
Undertaker looking up, and that is it. Do not touch it until next year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And I can see, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I believe you are going to be on the money with this. I think it's going to be Raw, where he does come out, and I think Taker is going to be at that Raw, obviously. He's going to cut a promo at the end of the night, and we are going to see basically the WWE forgetting anything that happened from 1999 on out with Sting. I think we're going to see WCW 1998 Sting with the trench coat, with the black baseball bat, with the black and white face paint, and we're going to be in the rafters, and that bat is going to be pointed right at Undertaker. No words are said, no words need to be said, and we cut to black. I think that's what we're going to be looking at the night after.
Yeah.
All right, and now we get to our main event and co-main event, so to speak. I don't know where they're going to put this Triple H Daniel Bryan match. I don't think it would be back-to-back, but it might be just to screw over Daniel Bryan, just to have him have to beat Triple H, and then go right into the world title match. So, but for the actual Triple H Daniel Bryan match, it's going to be very interesting because Triple H hasn't wrestled for a while. And he hasn't.
I see it being still a 15, 20-minute match.
Yeah, I can see it being under 20 minutes. The thing is, though, with Triple H, you can't really say he hasn't fought someone like Daniel Bryan because he fought CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are very similar wrestlers. So I think it's gonna be fun to see how fast paced the match goes. You got to believe Daniel Bryan wins this. I mean, you really do. If they pull crap where Daniel Bryan doesn't win this, there is going to be hell to pay. The fans are going to go rioting, like riot, like ECW versus John Cena riot. It would be crazy if Triple H won, but I don't think he will. I think Daniel Bryan wins this. I think it'll be a really fun match to see. And I think Daniel Bryan will get his moment against the Authority, so to speak, in this match. Goes over Triple H. I don't know how he would win it, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun finish.
Yeah, I definitely agree Daniel Bryan's going to win. I think it's going to be a pretty, kind of brutal match. These two are going to battle. It's going to go to the outside. These guys are just going to battle all over. I agree with you. I don't know the finish, but I think Daniel Bryan is going to get the win. But I think afterwards what's going to happen is Triple H is going to get a chair or the sledgehammer or something and just beat the crap out of Daniel Bryan and make sure he can't even make it to the main event. If Triple H can't be in the main event, then nobody can. So I think he's going to just beat up Daniel Bryan after the match really, really bad. And that's going to be that, and then we're going to be left to wonder, is Daniel Bryan even going to make it to the main event?
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan is going to just be completely beaten by the end of this, which is going to make it more appealing to see him in the triple threat match with Randy Orton and Batista, and just kind of having his back against the wall like it's been for the last year, and he's finally going to get that moment, because if he's in this triple threat match, you got to just give it to him. Even if you just give it to him for a month or two, the world title, you got to give it to him. You got to have that payoff. And the fans have endured one of the longest hopes for a payoff in a very long time in professional wrestling. Things like this don't happen often. That's why, if this was the plan all along, then I give WWE a lot of credit, because this was done beautifully if it was planned. I don't think it was planned, though. I think they were kind of screwed with CM Punk a little bit, and I think they are kind of fed up with the fans, in a sense, of kind of editing, or not editing, but kind of like just being the producers of the show, in a sense, with hijacking and stuff like that. And I think they just want to give them their moment. I think the match is going to be pretty good, though. Batista has shown that every match he has, he gets better and better. Randy Orton is Randy Orton. There's not a bad Randy Orton match necessarily. Maybe chemistry-wise, we kind of are crucial on him versus like John Cena or something like that. But I think when you put Randy Orton in a high-class match with Batista and with Daniel Bryan, that adds a whole lot of elements of different kinds of chemistry, because Batista is just that big, strong mammoth. You have Randy Orton, who's just that overall elite wrestler, and you have Daniel Bryan, who's going to keep that pace fast. So it should be a really fun match to watch and see. And then if or when Daniel Bryan does win the title, that roof is going to explode, and it is going to be shown for years and years as one of the greatest WrestleMania moments for an individual.
Yeah, I can't argue with what you just said. I agree with everything. I definitely think Daniel Bryan is going to have his moment, and like you said, that place is just going to go crazy.
Yeah, like Stone Cold Glass crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest yes chant you've ever heard in your life. I mean, it's in New Orleans. I hope they don't lose power like they did for the Super Bowl.
Don't let Ray Lewis near the arena.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome just sight to see, and I really think like Daniel Bryan is just going to have the match of his life right here. He knows this is his biggest moment. He's got a lot of doubters, at least backstage. This is his time to prove it. Hey, I can wrestle with Randy Orton and Batista on the biggest stage, and I can draw money and do all that. And I think, Daniel Bryan is just going to have his big moment. Orton's going to have a great match. Batista still hasn't shown really anything, so Daniel and Randy are going to have to carry him. I don't even want to predict how the ending is going to happen, but I really think Daniel Bryan is just going to be the one holding up the title at the end of the night, and then the next night on Raw is just going to be amazing, because the Raw after Mania, that crowd is always, pretty much the same crowd from Mania. It's, it's electric. It's the best Raw of the year in my books. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and this is the one time where I really do wish that CM Punk was still here, because in my mind, the moment that this should be is very reminiscent of Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. I think that it would have been amazing to have CM Punk there, come out and raise Daniel Bryan's hand in that moment, just because they've been through so much professionally together for a very long time, and there's not many other people in the back that can have that kind of or share that kind of moment with Daniel Bryan if he does happen to win, like CM Punk would be able to. So I do wish that could happen. Regardless, I feel that Randy Orton and Batista should just get the heck out of the ring once that's over. It should be if anyone has seen that documentary with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and they get to the part where Shawn Michaels wins the Iron Man wins the Iron Man match versus Bret Hart for the championship. Shawn Michaels tells the ref Hebner, tell him to get the hell out of my ring. And that's honestly what should happen at this point. Batista and Randy Orton should get the hell out of Daniel Bryan's ring. Let him have that moment, because that man deserves this one moment. And like I said, I don't care if this lasts a month or two. I really don't. It's just the fact of getting that moment that he deserves and getting the respect of people around the world.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he'll have that moment and all that. So, I mean, that's kind of how I think WrestleMania is going to be. I wish Sting would be there. I wish CM Punk would be there. I think Rob Van Dam will show up in the Royal Rumble, too. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. There is 3 spots left. It is being rumored about Rob Van Dam. So look for him in that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. If not, I would expect him the next night on Raw.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I would love to see Sting there. It'll be cool to see Warrior, and I'm really looking forward to the Hall of Fame ceremony that'll be live on the network. I think that'll be really cool to see. Warrior and Jake Roberts, Lita, Scott Hall. I'm really looking forward to Scott Hall's.
You mean Razor Ramon?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Scott Hall's not going to the Hall of Fame, apparently. It's just Razor Ramon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to his speech and what he says.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be emotional.
He's always been one of my favorites just because of NWO and WCW.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Before we end the show, I do want to bring this up, and I know I wanted to talk to you about it with you. I pray and hope WWE, please have your WWE Network issues fixed, because if I lose feed during WrestleMania, the riot that John Cena would have went through at ECW One Night Stand will be nothing compared to what I do to you.
I can't even imagine the backlash if everything is not fixed by then. Gosh, it's one thing for your debut NXT, 2-hour special event to have some hiccups, but when you have Wrestle freaking Mania hyped up like it is with the WWE Network saying. And that was your biggest tagline. You get WrestleMania for free, essentially, when you buy the network. If it is not completely fixed, the rioting from fans worldwide is going to be insane. So I hope they have it all figured out. I hope the show goes off without a hitch, and I hope we have a show we can talk about in a couple days that we're excited to talk about, and not one that we're like, it was okay.
Yeah, I agree. So that's our WrestleMania predictions. I'd love to hear what everybody else's predictions are. If you agree with ours, if you don't like ours, let us know. We're still on Twitter, The Rope Break, at The Rope Break, YouTube, The Rope Break as well, Facebook, The Rope Break. Just search for us, all one word. You said we're going to try and get us on something else too, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get us on Podbean. I know it's going to be a little pricey, but I think it would maybe be worth it, and we're going to try it out. So hopefully we can garner some interest with that, and hopefully this is us starting anew in a way that will be better for everyone involved. So yeah, get at us on one of our social media networks, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you don't like, what you do like. Give us some ideas. Talk to us. We'd love to just answer some questions if you just want our opinions. But yeah, that's going to be our WrestleMania 30 prediction show, and we will be back on a normal schedule coming up here in a little bit. So stay tuned on our Twitter as we figure everything out. But until then, we will see you guys later.
Yep, and then one other quick thing. We'll probably be doing a review on the Ultimate Warriors DVD that just came out. Look forward to that as well. I personally don't know that much about Warrior because I didn't grow up in that area. You know what I meant.
Get ready for crazy like you've never seen crazy before.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it just because I don't know him. I've heard so many bad things, so I'm kind of just form my own opinion. So just look forward to that. It'll be on YouTube. I'm sure people will search The Ultimate Warrior, DVD reviews and stuff like that. So we'll be on there. So make sure you guys look for that. Talk to you later.
All right, see you guys later.